Yo, what's going on, everybody? Gerardo with Mercado Goods. Today we're at Counterfit Vintage over here on 18th Street in Chicago. We're going to be doing a very special interview today. He's a friend, a rapper, an artist, a musician, and today we're going to be having a special conversation with my buddy, Cashstarr. Meet Cash, aka Cashstarr. Cash, go ahead and introduce yourself.
Hey, my name is Cashstarr. Nice to meet you guys.
All right, so I wanted to bring you over here towards the jersey section because earlier we were having a conversation about you were actually an athlete. You played a lot of sports back in the day, specifically football, and you did a lot of wrestling. Talk to us a little bit about that background and what got you interested in sports in the first place.
What really got me interested in sports growing up was I've always been a naturally competitive guy. Even with like music, I'm even competitive to an extent. So I don't know. I just needed something to like channel that competitiveness for sure.
Cool. Who's your favorite team?
Favorite team? I'm such a team like hopper, but anything Chicago, bro. Chicago Bulls, Chicago Bears, Blackhawks, anything like that.
Does the nostalgia factor of the 90s Bulls add any element towards your music?
Yeah, I would say so because when we look back at like Michael Jordan and shit like that, there's a certain not even just Michael Jordan, just the Bulls in general in that time period, like Scottie Pippen, all those guys. There's a certain like swagger that I feel like Chicago gained that's lived with us even after the fact that those Bulls are gone. There's a certain standard that we have as a city that they kind of set. You know?
Earlier, you said that you've done some combat sports, specifically wrestling. Why wrestling?
Yeah. I've always been into like MMA, like UFC and shit like that. So that's like one of the main bases you'll need to just be in MMA. So I started off just wrestling. I competed in wrestling like for years, bro, for like years. I've also done like Muay Thai, some boxing, shit like that, but never competitively, just more training type shit.
Would you say with combat sports, it's been what's also aided your competitiveness? I know sometimes in team sports, you know, it does aid your competitiveness, but, you know, combat sports, it's just you up there taking the punches and giving them back as well. Would you say that combat sports kind of also made that, kind of like carved that hunger inside of you? Or would you accredit that to something else, maybe somebody in your family?
Damn, I would think... Like shit. I mean, I have an older brother type shit. I mean, like a competition wouldn't be through anything. But I know you're playing like video games, you're doing shit like that. He plays sports. He's like damn near a decade older than me, but he plays sports. He did shit like that or whatever. So you kind of want to do what your brother does. Probably kind of better at that time period, at least. You know.
So you're inspired by your brother?
Yeah, to an extent. Yeah.
Style wise too, or just?
As a younger dude, yeah. Now I kind of got my own style, but. Yeah.
Would you kind of sneak into his room and like steal some of his cassettes, CDs, maybe movies, DVDs, and things of that nature, magazines maybe?
Definitely, like musically, like growing up, like when I first started listening to like hip hop and shit like that, it would be whatever he was listening to. So I know like Tupac, Dipset. Dipset was like a big thing for me. Max B, that's what he was like listening to during those time periods. So yeah, that kind of rubbed off on me.
I seen some of the figures over here also that were like things that I wanted to point out. I just wasn't sure if were you a big Pokemon person or like video game person growing up or no?
Pokemon, not really. I mean, I used to watch like a lot of those type of shows and shit like that, but yeah,
So you weren't into Pokemon a whole bunch?
Not really.
What about video games? Wrestling? They got the Stone Cold Steve Austin tee up there.
Yeah. Wrestling for sure. Wrestling was actually a big part of my childhood, bro.
Oh, really?
Yeah, like WWE? Yeah, bro. Big part of my childhood.
Who is your favorite wrestler?
I would say, dude, it's between like, it's a lot, bro. Probably between like John Cena or like Bret Hart. One of my biggest memories, bro, it was Randy Orton. And Randy Orton, like he kicked this girl in the fucking head. And I remember being him like younger, even though I kind of knew it was fake. I was like, damn, this dude's fucking evil. Like he's evil as fuck. Who kicks a woman in the head? It's crazy.
Yeah. What about any OG wrestlers? Like I'm looking up over here at the Stone Cold Steve Austin tees and things like that. Yeah. Does any of those ring a bell, or were those? Or this is Undertaker actually. Yeah. I remember that one. But any of the OG wrestlers?
Yeah, like everybody here. You got Goldberg, you got fucking Undertaker, John Cena. You got Stone Cold, I mean, all these guys really I love, especially the WCW era too. It's really dope. I used to like just binge watch everything wrestling all the way back from like the fucking 60s, bro.
Looking at all these figures in front of us, there's a lot of like collectibles here. Did you collect anything when you were younger, or do you collect anything?
Right now, I mean, I'm really into like fashion, so I like to collect a lot of like pieces as far as clothing. But when I was younger, it was that too, but like little toys like that. Like I was super into like Power Rangers and shit like that. I used to have a lot of like Power Rangers collectible items and shit.
Yeah, I know the Labubus are big right now. Talk to us. We want to know. Does Cashstarr have a Labubu?
Bro, no. I was just literally. You're so funny that you brought that up, bro. I was with my girl the other day. We were just walking. I'm like, what's this Labubu shit? Like, what is this?
Yeah.
I was like saying La Baba. I was like, what the fuck is that?
Hey, did you game ever as a kid?
Game? Yeah, bro. Hella.
What kind of video games?
Mostly like whatever was like really popular around that time. I would say like 2K, all types of like Maddens, GTA, Call of Duty too. I was ass at that, but yeah. Matter of fact, you're talking about collecting stuff too, bro. I was a big sneakerhead as a kid, actually.
Oh, you were?
So yeah, bro. It's like one of my favorite pair of Jordans because technically, like, it's a history lesson, bro. This right here is like the first luxury like basketball sneaker. Like when this first came out, it was made out of like Italian leather and shit like that. So this is like one of the most interesting pairs of like Jordans I've ever like. See?
The 2 is.
Yeah, the 2.
I didn't know that about the 2. You actually schooled me right now.
Yeah, bro.
Dang. Okay. I was not planning on having this up in the conversation, but obviously we got some of the Yeezys. Did Kanye, obviously being an artist from Chicago, did he influence your style, your music in any kind of way? And if so, I mean, what's that look like?
Bro, heavily, bro. Like, I don't think I would be as creative if it wasn't for Kanye or whatever, because he's one of the few artists to like push culture, especially from Chicago. Like, nobody from Chicago was as original as Kanye. Shit, even in the world before Kanye came. Like, he came during a time where it was nothing but like just street shit coming out. And he's a backpack rapper out of like Chicago is what they would consider at the time. So heavily, bro. He's heavily influential for sure.
Hell yeah. All right, let's see what else we got over here. Let's peep the records maybe. They got the camel mugs, the Pulp Fiction. Yo, they got the Dragon Ball Z as well. All right, bro, I got to bring that up for sure. Did you ever watch Dragon Ball Z as a kid?
Yeah, hella, bro. That sounds like my brother, like I said, he's years older than me. And I'm watching himself, even though I'm thinking he's my older brother. He's damn near a kid at this time and shit. Like, he grew up watching Dragon Ball Z from the time damn near it came out to even damn near now, probably.
I just started watching Dragon Ball Z, and low key, I feel like it's like such a huge commitment because, bro, it's a lot of episodes. Yeah, oh, dude, you know what? I think one of the times that we talked before, you did bring up Tyson, Ali, how boxing also was like a big inspiration of yours. Yeah. I mean, talk to us a little bit about that.
Yeah, bro. I mean, I love boxing. I don't know what it is since I was a kid, especially like Muhammad Ali. Muhammad Ali was like probably one of the first like figures I looked at as like a superhero growing up. So just to see how he just changed and just transcended a sport that was pretty much just brutal and brought like art to it from the dancing. A lot of people consider him to be like the first rapper because who like promotes stuff like that. He would rhyme, float like a butterfly, spin like a bee, shit like that. It's dope to see, bro.
What system was your favorite system growing up?
Growing up, bro, all I ever had was like a PS3. No, I had everything damn near. PS1, PS2, PS3, up to PS4. Up until that point. Shit, bro. Something about that, like, PS2 brings back nostalgia, bro. I think I enjoyed playing that a lot. When the PS3 came out and 4, I kind of just, like, faded off of video games, but I had them, you know?
Yeah, I personally grew up more with Nintendo, but I grew up with PS2 as well. We got some PS2, PS3 games. Is there anything that sticks out in particular to you?
I'm looking at it right now, bro. That SmackDown versus Raw, bro, the 2008, legendary, bro.
Oh, yeah.
Legendary, bro. Legendary for sure.
Who would you typically pick? Who's your go-to character?
Fucking John Cena.
John Cena. Yeah, bro. He was everybody's favorite. Fashion is a big part of who you are. Yeah. I wanted to see, you know, what kind of inspired you to be stylish? You know, was there maybe somebody in the family that really put that on, or, you know, was it just kind of natural interest?
Yeah, I mean, there's a lot of different inspirations. Like, my parents, we're from like Belize and shit like that, but we immigrated. Well, my parents, my family, they immigrated to like New York, and you know New York is like they're the fashion capital. So I'm growing up going to school with shit that like a lot of New York kids grew up in, like Tim's. Obviously, kids in Chicago wear Tim's, but I'm wearing like Ralph Lauren, Tim's, all types of different shit, Jordans, all type of shit. Like I always came to school like fresh. So big inspiration would be my parents for sure.
I wanted to ask you, bro. Obviously, I've hung around you. I've been around you and your team. I've always peeped, you know, you always have raza around you. And I was curious, bro, like, how did that come about? Where's that from?
I would say like, I don't know. I have like friends of like all different types of cultures and shit, but it just always happened to be like my friends. I don't know why, bro. It just always been like that. And next thing is too, I mean, like obviously like I'm black and shit like that, but my parents, like we come from like, you know, immigrant like type of beginnings type shit, you know? And my friends, like obviously like their parents are like immigrants too. So we just always had that like relation of like, oh shit, you know?
Yeah, Belize, right?
Yeah, Belize.
So you're Caribbean.
Yeah, for sure.
Talk to us about the way that kind of weaves into your sound and the way that you flow.
Yeah, it's like a heavily if you've been around Caribbean people and just heard Caribbean music, bro, it's like it's heavy. I feel like every culture, but something about Caribbean music is just very melodic, bro. So you just grow up hearing a lot of the tunes. And if you've been around other like Caribbean kids, and I'm sure it's even like that, and even like for like Mexican people and shit like that too as well, it's like you hear the same songs or whatever. So you could just be somewhere, right? And I'll just know if a person's like singing a particular song, I know they're like Caribbean too as well, because we just all listen to the same music.
Is there any specific artists that come to mind, like when your mom or your parents were playing it when they were young, when you were younger, that like, you know, Sunday morning someone's making breakfast?
Yeah.
What are they listening to? That's Belizean.
Yeah. I would say not necessarily like Belizean, but like very much like reggae and like Caribbean like dancehall music. I would say I love like Supercat. That's like one of like my favorite like dancehall artists of all time. Might be just my favorite dancehall artist of all time.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah. Like I'm trying to be educated. Yeah, you know what I mean? So sure. I mean, I'm gonna dance hall, or what'd you say?
Yeah, dance hall. Yeah, for sure.
Dance hall? Yeah. I'm gonna check that out, bro, for sure. So you have an album coming out on the 23rd. Talk to us about this album. You know, all the work that's gone into it, what we can expect, and what it's gonna sound like.
Yeah, the album's called Runway Music, and it basically is trying to give you like the origin of the album type shit, man. Like I've said, like I've always been into fashion, and I feel like fashion is like same thing how people say like art imitates life or vice versa. It's one of those things where I look at the runway like how people look at life or whatever. And as you're walking down this runway, which is life, there's multiple things going on around you type shit. And either you're going to make it or you're going to break it. You know what I'm saying? So, I mean, shit, like, this is basically that project. I feel like this project is very much make it or break it for me type shit. So is every project, but this thing, I feel like I'm really coming into me as, like, a person, for sure.
Awesome. Yeah. And that's coming out June 23rd on all platforms?
All platforms, yep. Everywhere.
Cool, bro. Plug your IG, your socials.
Yeah. My IG is Cashstarr, CASHSTARR. Everything else is AACash773. Yep.
Cool. Till next time. Peace.